There are so many things we don't really get to engage and talk about our sexual life. And most times when our sexual life is suffering, when you don't fix it, it gets worse. And it can get worse. You can completely lose your sexual life if you're not careful. Your sexual health, it's very, very, very important. No matter how you pretend about it, no matter your religion, no matter your practices, no matter your culture, when you neglect your sexual life, you're going to be neglected. It's going to affect your general health. Your sexual activities are meant for a purpose. Sex, it's not only meant for having babies. Sex is meant to be a binder between two people. Sex is meant to create union. It's meant to create friendship. It's meant to lead to sustainability. But lately, we've seen sex as the only avenue for having babies. That's very wrong, especially in relationships. If you have a partner and the only thing you guys talk about is having babies, taking care of your babies, your sexual life is gonna dip. And babies change everything. Practically everything in your life will not be the same the moment you're confirmed pregnant. Once the baby is given birth to, your sexual life will dip. By default, whether you like it or not, it's gonna suffer. So if prior to having babies, you were having 10 over 10 in your levels, when you have babies, it's gonna dip to 0. Why? Because the babies are gonna take over. The babies are gonna run your life. The babies are gonna dictate the pace. The babies are gonna dictate when you will sleep. They will dictate when you eat. They will dictate every single thing about you. So having babies is a situation where you get something good that can affect you adversely if you don't work to improve on what you need to do. So those babies you have that give you joy, very, very indescribable joy, they can kill your sexual life if you're not careful. It's been proven. It doesn't matter how high your libido is. It doesn't matter how your sexual health is. It doesn't matter how involved you are. Once you have babies, everything is going to change. And especially if you're young couples and you're starting, to build your life together, chances are that probably you guys are going to have a little room. Probably you guys are going to maybe have one room for the baby, one room for yourself, then maybe a nanny or your people that will come to help you. Guess what? Most new parents will room in with their new baby. And the baby's needs will change everybody's needs. So you won't even have any life when baby comes. That's why it's very important you get ready. It's not just enough to say, oh, I want to have babies. I want to become a parent. You have to be well prepared. You have to prepare your mind, your body, your spirit. If you don't have a prepared mind, body, and spirit, you're going to have problems. Depression might set in. Problems might set in. You might start having problems with your partner. And believe me, when sex is not properly addressed in a relationship, it can kill that relationship fast, very fast. But when sex is properly communicated and discussed and worked out, that relationship will thrive. Life itself is already stressful. So when you have a partner you communicate with, your partner will know when you need something. Your partner will know when you need space. Your partner will know when you need a massage, when you need to talk about something different. But in taking care of your babies, you also have to take care of yourself. Remember, you guys are going to be together forever. But when it becomes redundant, when it becomes dull, it's going to kill your relationship. And if care is not taken, it might lead to some chronic health conditions. Everything I'm telling you is practicable. Everything I'm telling you is factual. It's been proven several times. So if you need help in the group, please seek help. We can help you. We can do our part. We can give you therapy. We can meet you halfway depending on your problems. We can set you up for referrals. We can give you practicable tips to use to rekindle your relationship. Because what we've discovered, majority of women in our group, 90% of women in our group have almost non-existent sexual life. Those that indulge in sex don't get satisfaction. Very few people in the group can achieve climax. Most women don't even know what climax is, and it's not right. If you happen to be in ATG, you're an adult. You should know how your body functions. You should know when you need to seek help. You already have hormones that should activate all the sexual centers in your body. When they are not functioning properly, chances are that there are some factors in your immediate environment that might be contributing. But if you don't know, if you don't seek help, you might think it's okay. You might think it's okay to just come into this world and you have babies and that's the end of your life. That's not right. You're not just here to have babies. You're here to also be around, to be in good health, to be in a very good emotional background, to enjoy your babies. You're here to make sure that when your babies are due, they are going to go to their own families. You're going to go babysit for their babies. But if you carry on the way you're going, you will not experience that joy. So it's important you address things exactly the way it should be addressed. Every single lady, every single man in this group deserves to enjoy their sexual life. Every single person, no exceptions. It doesn't matter if you're a born-again Christian. It doesn't matter if you're a staunch Muslim. It doesn't matter. So long as you've signed up to have your life shared between you and your partner, you should know exactly what you need to do to get the best. If you're not getting the best, you need help. Not talking about sex, not talking about your sexual life, it's not an option. You will know nothing. And when you know nothing, you will think everything is okay. You need to seek help. So let's talk about things you need to do if you have kids. And if you're here listening to me, you can agree with me that kids can change your sexual life, right? When you have kids, it's all about that. If you don't have privacy, nothing is going to happen. If you guys share one tiny room, you don't have any sexual relationship with your partner. And if your partner is not the understanding type, your partner will take offense. So we're going to talk about practicable things you need to do. So like I mentioned, you need to work out your sexual health with fear and trembling. You need to work on it. You need to be proactive. You need to take basic steps. So what are those things you can do if you already have kids? The first thing to do when you have kids and you need help with your sexual life is to make sure you have a babysitter. Make sure you do what? You need help. You need to get a babysitter. But let me just say this. The best babysitters you can get in your family are the people you know. So if you have a grandparent, this might be the time to invite your grandparents so they can babysit for you. If you don't, please seek help with a professional babysitting organization. Times are evil. You have to be careful who you drop your kids with. The safest place and the safest people to look after your kids are your grandparents. So you need to get a babysitter. When you get a babysitter, they are going to provide some cushioning effect so they can give room, so they can give space, so you and your partner can go and spend time together, both in the day and in the night. If you have a babysitter, they can take care of the kids when you guys have already finished taking care of the kids. The fact you have a babysitter doesn't mean you have to relegate all the roles to the babysitter. When you don't get involved in your baby's life, you are selling your baby out and you're going to regret it because you're going to be a stranger. So don't leave your babies just for the babysitter or your grandparents. If you're working, when you come back, make sure you attend to the kids. Make sure you provide for them. Then by the time their time for sleeping comes, you can transition them to the babysitter, but you've already played the role. And I also want to encourage you, if you're a man, Gone are the days when you leave things for your woman. If you live in this part of the world, like today, I'm on babysitting duty, I'm on daddy's duty, I'm home with the 2 kids. It doesn't matter who you are, boy, girl, man, it doesn't matter. When you bring your kids into this world, you have to be there for them. You have to play the role. You have to do every single thing your wife is doing for them. That's how to be a good dad. That's how to be a good partner. Nobody can do it alone. You need help. If need be that you have to take care of them when your wife is out, you have to do it. Like I'm doing today. I enjoy having time with my kids. So get help. When you don't get help, you're not going to get time to create intimacy. And when you don't create intimacy, your relationship will fall like a pack of cards. So please get help, but be careful who you're introducing to your kids. Be careful who you're taking your kids to. The safest place to take your kids to, the safest place to recruit a babysitter is from your parents. Either your wife's or the husband's parent. It doesn't matter. Or if you have an elderly auntie, but you have to have a good relationship with them. You don't want your kids to be in a hostile environment. You don't want your kids to be with strangers that can affect their lives. So you want to be careful, especially if both of you are working. So getting help is very important in your sexual health, especially if you have kids. If you don't have kids, you have to start early. Start early to make provisions when the kids will come. Because when they come, they will change your life. They will rock your life. They will turn your life upside down. Most days you might spend it in the hospital, you might leave your work, they might call you, your kid is having fever. You'll be running from pillar to post. Why? Because you're now a slave. You're a slave to your kids. That's practically what it is. And that's how God designed it. We were formerly the directors and controllers of our parents. So the tide has changed. Then you have to make provisions for your kids. Whatever you give them is whatever you're going to get. If you leave your kids for your grandparents alone, they will know your grandparents. They will see you as strangers. It might not manifest now, but it's going to manifest much, much later in life. So don't leave any room, don't leave any gaps. So please, to enjoy your sexual life, hire a nanny, hire a helping hand, call your grandparents, see if they can help you. Okay? The next tip I will give you guys in regards to this is to enforce back to bed policy. So for a family to function properly, you have to have a game plan. You have to have a timetable. You have to have time things happen. So when you come back in the day, you have to take care of the kids, bath them, feed them, read their stories, check their homeworks, interact with them, know how their day went. After that, you have an already set timetable when they are supposed to sleep. You must enforce their sleep time. You don't have to give them time grace. You can give them some grace if it's weekend, but you have to enforce their sleep time. It's going to help them to be very organized. It's going to help them to be disciplined. It's going to help them to be very good people when they grow up. So when you tuck them in at the appropriate time, they will get the adequate amount of sleep to function better tomorrow. And when you've done that, you can now go back to your partner. You can now go back and see how your partner fared for the day, and you guys can make up. You guys can have your time together. You guys can talk about the work. You can talk about so many other things in the family. But when you don't enforce the sleep time, your husband is going to come back stressful. You're going to be stressed. The kids are going to kick your butt. By the time they kick your butt, maybe you succeed in putting them to bed around 12. You're going to come back to the room tired. By then, your husband is already snoring. And before you know it, the following day will come and you won't have any sex. So 2 things I've already shared with you guys. Get a babysitter, tuck in the kids on a very strict timetable. When you do that, you've created an avenue, you've created a forum for interaction between you and your partner. So these 2 points, very important. The next point I will discuss with you guys in this regards is to remember to secure the perimeter. Most parents, because of the way they were raised, because of the intimacy with their kids, actually have their kids sharing their room. You have to enforce this tip. You have to lock the doors all the time. You don't want the kids to barge into the room when you're making out with your partner. They don't understand sex now, but they will be so freaked out. They can interrupt a lot of things. So learn to lock the doors. Learn to keep your perimeter safe. Learn to secure the environment. Make sure that your bedroom is not a thoroughfare. Make sure your bedroom is not an all-comers place. Make sure your bedroom is strictly for both of you. If you happen to have your kids sleeping with you, then you have to make sure you have a guest room, in your home. Whatever happens, you just have to work out your salvation. If you don't work out your salvation, you're not going to have any sex. That's period. And I'm telling you, there is absolutely no way you can have sex when the kids are there disturbing and barging into the room. So secure the perimeter, lock the doors, make sure everybody is properly taken care of before you guys can have your own time. When you don't do that, you're going to have problems. And some couples actually form the habit of making love in presence of their kids. You might think kids are kids. They have a mental picture of everything that happens. You don't ever want to do that. Don't make up in presence of your kids. I repeat, do not make out in the presence of your kids. You can peck your wife, you can give her a kiss and do other stuff. Let your kids not see you making out with your partner. That's going to be the beginning of the end of that relationship with them. Guess what? Kids are very smart. They practice everything they see. They do. And there are so many pedophiles out there. There are so many perverts out there. You have to be careful what your kids see, what they hear. Very important. Kids are very smart. Very smart people. Don't mess with them. They know better than us. So you have to keep your game up to catch up with them. If you don't keep your game up, they're going to beat your ass. I'm sorry to use the words, but that's exactly how it is. So you have to be ahead on time. So learn how to lock the doors. Secure your perimeter. So let me repeat. Get a nanny, probably your grandparent, get a babysitter. Make sure you enforce your sleep time. Then lock the doors. Secure the perimeter. When you do that, you're going to be in a good position to talk about other things you need to talk about with your partner. The next thing I will talk about is time. So in this era of very stressful life, you wake up in the morning, you're rushing to get to work, you're caught up in the traffic, you go to work, you're dealing with work situation, you come back sad, you didn't meet your targets. Learn how to get to bed early. Gone are the days when you can have sex anytime you just feel like. But if you're a man and you woke up around 5:30 or 5 in the morning, let's say you're in Lagos and you go through all the bustling and hustling of the day, then you come back, your wife will serve you food, you listen to news, you do social media, then you're talking, then your wife is contending with the kids to see if you can fix the kids. If you guys are not organized, if you don't have a time, if you don't have a help, your husband is going to eat his fufu. He's going to pass out while eating the fufu. He might be snoring. Then he's going to get to the bed. Most guys, most Nigerian guys, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but you guys are not romantic. When your body touches the bed, you pass out. You snore. Most guys won't even know when the kids wake up. They believe it's the duty of the wife. That's wrong. When you hear your kids crying in the night, wake up and know what's going on with them. So you as the lady, you have to get to bed on time so you can have some time to interact and have intimacy before nature will take over. Naturally, once your body is tired, the next thing on your mind is sleep. So prior to having kids, you guys can wake up by 4, 3, 2, and make love. You guys can actually start making love from 7 till 7 in the morning. It doesn't matter. Why? Nobody's going to interrupt you guys. But now you've got kids, so you have to be programmed. So you as the man, don't just leave the house in the morning. You come back, you provide all the millions, then you come back, you don't really know what's going on in your kids' life, or maybe they are sick, or maybe they are not in a good place. You're snoring in the night. You don't even know they are not sleeping properly. You leave it for your wife. Meanwhile, your wife is also working. So what do you bring to the table? So learn how to be involved. Okay? Learn how to be involved. Sex, it's a relationship between two people, not just only you. And most guys, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys again, by the time you're tired, you don't even engage in foreplay. You don't even know what exactly your wife wants. Your wife might want a massage. You don't even ask her what she wants. And in the same vein, some wives will not communicate their needs to the husband. So it builds up. And over time, by the time you don't address things and it keeps building up, one time it's gonna blow. And when it blows, it's gonna affect the relationship. So be involved. Wake up, know what the problem is with the kids. Check their temperature, talk them in, help your wife. Some days you don't get sleep. At the initial time, most babies will keep both parents up. But it's not right for the man to go to the other room and be sleeping and the wife to be up 24 hours attending to the kids. When both of you are involved, when both of you are going to go to work the next day, it's not right. When you hear the cry of your kids in the night, wake up from your slumber. Get involved. Ask your wife, honey, do you need help? Is baby okay? Go to your baby, cuddle your baby, attend to your baby. I know you don't have breasts to breastfeed them. Get involved. Stay awake. Encourage them. It's not all about providing money. You're not a good dad. You have to be involved. In the morning, make provisions. Take bath. Drop them in school. Feed them. Get involved. Spend time with them on weekends. Take them out. Know who your kids are. That's part of your sexual health. When you don't address this, your kids are going to see you as strangers. They will just see you as daddy who provides money. They won't know you. And you won't blame them if they know only your wife. It hurts so bad when some kids know only their mothers. You don't have a stake. You're just a passenger in your home. That's not right. Start getting involved, guys. Believe me, kids are the most adorable people ever. No matter how they stress you, they are the best things that can happen to you in life. So get involved. So let me repeat. Get a babysitter. Enforce your sleep time. Lock the doors. Get to bed early. The last thing I will communicate with you guys. So by the time you've succeeded in getting a nanny, in forcing the babies to sleep, locking the doors, getting to bed early. So what do you discuss with your partner when you guys are there? Are you guys still going to be communicating about the kids? Oh, this kid did this. Oh, work was so stressful. No. Change the narration. Change the content of your discussion. Communicate. Talk about other things. Talk about things that can bring you guys together. Cuddle each other. Do stuff. Just explore. When you keep talking about the kids, when you keep talking about the problems in the day, when you don't talk about both of you, when you don't talk about what's important to both of you, your sexual life will just drop like zero. And let me tell you, there's a period we call the honeymoon phase in marriages or relationships. Honeymoon phase, first few years. You guys will think that that's how life is. The third year, redundancy will creep in. That's when you actually know if you're ready to marry. That's where maturity will come in. So learn how to create time for each other. So when you've taught the kids in, when you come into your area, when you come into your arena, your kingdom, the bedroom is your kingdom, enforce the kingdom. And I'm talking to the ladies, be an undertaker. Initiate sex. Initiate relationship. Initiate things. Let it be that you initiated it and your husband is staying in stone age, that it will be on record you initiated it. If you don't initiate things and you stay complaining, nothing is going to change. Your husband will just keep getting you pregnant. He will keep getting you pregnant. You will end up being a baby making factory. You are not a baby making factory. You have your needs. It's about time you start doing something differently so you can get something differently. You're not a baby making machine. Your baby didn't fall from heaven. Both of you made those babies. So you have to communicate your needs to your partner. If you don't communicate your needs to your partner will be taking you for granted. And unfortunately, the way the penis is constructed by God, once a man is in the mood and he goes in and he's tired, the maximum minute he's gonna stay there is 5 minutes. He's done. And you might just be about getting ready. And when your man is done, he's done. Next minute, he's gonna be snoring. But you have to stay on your game. You have to know what to do. This is exactly why you need to sign up for that seminar, because we are gonna expose things that will blow your mind. I don't boast, but I'm telling you, I happen to be in America where things are done, openly. You need to get the good things that will work for you and you apply it in your life. And let me say this. Whatever suggestions I'm giving you guys, it's just suggestions. At the end of the day, you decide how you want to live your life. I'm just trying to help. So start doing something differently about your sexual life. Start taking charge. Start becoming proactive. If you need help, get help. Don't be shy about it. Don't be fearful. Don't be naive. It's your life. And let me say this. Remember, like I keep saying it, if you haven't hit your menopause and you're having a very bad sexual life, it sucks. Because guess what's going to happen? By the time you hit menopause, your hormones are going to change. Everything will start drying up. You will start having hot flushes. You will start having vaginal dryness. You will start having changes that your body will not even like. So you still have time. Yes, sir, how are you? So you still have time to do the right thing. Okay, so I'm encouraging you to please step up your game. Come and say hi to them. I'm encouraging you to step up your game. Do the right thing. Create a bond. Create the relationships with your kids. Make sure they're there with you from day one. If they are not there from day one, they will not be there from day two. What you give is what you get. Be there for them as a father. Be an example. Help out. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you create that time with them. When you're done creating the time with them, then make sure you create the time with your partner. Very important. So let me summarize and I will round up. Remember to get help when you need help. So you can get a nanny, you can get your grandparents to help you. Then remember to enforce sleep and bedtime. Remember to lock the doors. Remember to go to bed early. Remember to change the topic of conversation when you guys have already succeeded in talking the kids in. Create the relationship with your kids. Create the relationships with your partner and make sure you guys are on the same page. When you create time for everybody at home, everybody's gonna be happy. But get help. Stop sitting it out. You need help? Get help.